to be like involved in this shit. You know what I'm saying? But I understand that you don't want to fucking tell me too much either, because I don't want you to think I'm a snitch. Here I am.
At the start of 2022, 54-year-old Jorge Diaz Johnson, the younger brother of long-term Miami Mayor Manny Diaz, was in the process of reestablishing a relationship with his spouse. But he had a problem. He had allowed a guy with a long criminal history to stay at his home, free of rent. But George felt it was time for the bad guy to go. And then suddenly, Jorge Diaz Johnson disappeared. George worked as a paralegal. He was very professional and punctual.
And thanks to his return to the United States, I was born. But I have the utmost respect for him, and I've tried to live my life in a way that he would find a way that he would be very proud of.
So when he did not show up at work, his coworkers reported him missing. Investigators started working the case. And sadly, George's body was found in a landfill in Jackson County, Florida, about 1 hour away from Tallahassee, Florida, where George lived. An autopsy was conducted, and it was determined that George had been strangled to death. There were also many post-mortem injuries to the body, but these were likely caused by the fact that his killer had disposed of his body in the trash. Therefore, a trash truck had inadvertently picked up the body during trash pickup day and took it to a landfill.
And it normally sits up. It's normally not out there by itself? No. It's normally not right there. I notice how you went to push it forward first. It was a little heavy. It was a little heavier. Normally it's not that heavy. It was a little heavier, I guess.
The investigation turned from a missing person investigation to a murder investigation. Detectives learned that the victim, Jorge Diaz Johnson, had been a well-known marriage equality activist. They also learned that he and his husband, Don Diaz Johnson, had been separated for years but were trying to reconnect. Finally, they learned that George had been helping a convict, 38-year-old Stephen Yinger, whom George met in an alcohol abuse recovery program by allowing Stephen to stay at his home while Stephen got his life together following his release from prison.
Do you think he's still alive? I'm praying to God he is.
Detectives quickly learned that Stephen Yinger had been released from a Florida prison on October 5, 2021, after serving a 3-year sentence for grand theft. Let's join the detectives as they investigate who murdered Jorge Diaz Johnson.
Hey man, I'm sorry to keep you waiting.
That's all right. I was just texting Raj just to see if we could get, or if we could get.
Yeah. Where do they go? They were here. There's a lot going on. There was another incident that
I
happened.
understand there was like 3 shootings in Katy City or something like that.
Yeah, there was another one tonight. Another homicide. So. All right. Given your current status, there's, the stuff that you got going on, there's going to be certain questions that I'm going to ask you, information that Rogers has, like your biographical information, anything like that. I don't know your name right now. Okay.
Phil.
Just Phil? Okay, Phil. But I don't want to do anything that's going to identify you or anything like that. You know what I mean? That's your current phone number?
Yes, sir.
Did you have, how old is that one, or how new is it?
2 weeks.
2 weeks? Okay.
And I haven't kept a phone before that for quite some time.
Oh, you didn't have one before that?
No, I could have had one, but like I said,
Gotcha.
I had to win.
So, we're investigating the homicide. I know that it's my understanding, you correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Rogers reached out to you and asked you about a homicide that happened over off of Stuckey the other night.
He didn't say where it was. He just asked me about a person of interest.
Yeah.
That I do know I was arrested with.
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't arrested with him, but I mean we got pulled over at the same time.
What was that person's name?
I know him by Miami or Dave. I didn't know his name. When he asked me about the person's name, I didn't have a clue. He had to show me a picture. And as soon as you show me a picture, I mean obviously I know who he is.
All right. And then while y'all were conversing, you mentioned that you had possibly some information about the homicide that I'm working.
That was later on that I told him.
Okay.
When he came to me, it was kind of like new. I hadn't seen him in a long time. And first of all, when he's at my doorstep, I had people behind me, and like it kind of threw me a little bit. No, it's all right though. I played it off good enough. But I was more afraid. I'm like rolling my Rolodex in my mind, like I didn't do anything wrong. You know what I'm saying? Banging on my door. But everything was cool, and it kind of was like stirred my mind a little bit. And I kind of like don't like that dude that he showed me, the person of interest. I guess his name is Khalil or Khalif or whatever the fuck his name is. I'm sorry, I actually don't know that, but I know him by Miami. I don't like him at all. We already tried, like with me and my roommate almost got into it with him already. At my roommate mom's house on Ridge Road, but
so that was the basis of y'all's initial contact,
right,
and then
absolutely.
you reached out to Roger.
Later on after that, I was like, wait a minute, hold on, this other dude, started coming to my mind. Why not throw it in there too?
All right, and it's the other dude that I want to talk about, because of the nature of what we're doing. You being not an eyewitness, but you have information that's important to us. One of the things that we do at the request of the state attorney's office is we swear a person in.
Right.
It's not Miranda, it's just swearing you in so that you promise and tell the truth.
I understand.
Okay. So I'm going to read that to you now. My name is Nick Roberts. I'm a detective with the homicide unit here at TPD, conducting an official investigation concerning a homicide. Any false statements about material matters given by you as a witness under oath would constitute perjury, which is a first-degree misdemeanor according to Florida statutes. Can you raise your right hand for me? You solemnly swear or affirm the evidence you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
And you understand that if you knowingly make a material misstatement of fact, meaning if you tell a lie, during this investigation you'll commit a crime of perjury?
I understand.
Okay, thank you. So, explain to me, I guess, what you were explaining to Rogers. And when we go through it this first time, can you just tell me what you know, like where you were, how you came in contact with this person, what he told you? I don't necessarily want to know what you heard from other people or any rumors or anything like that, but just the facts of where you were, how you came in contact with this person, and what they said to you.
I have no other knowledge about this thing other than from that person.
Okay.
He came to my house. I know him from prison.
Okay, what's his name?
Steve. I call him Steve-O. I don't know his last name. It's like Yinger or some shit like that. That's what it's on like his messenger. That's the only way I had contact with him. I guess he made contact with me about like a month and a half, 2 months ago, looking for work. He thought I was a manager of an apartment complex. No, certainly not. But yeah. I own my condo, so I guess that's why I got about.
Gotcha.
I told him I didn't know anything. So I hadn't heard from him about a week, and then he was asking for some people's numbers, I guess, to get in touch with people. And I shot him a couple of people's numbers, and that was it. And then all of a sudden, he pulls up with somebody at my door saying that he needed somewhere to stay. Man, it's really serious. He's kind of like ducking out. I thought he was running from like a domestic. I thought he got into it with his girl. They didn't tell me too much of anything. They just told me that, nobody can know that I'm here right now. And I was like, all right, cool. So he came in, and he was at the house, and he was kind of like sketchy at first. And then finally, like the first night or second night, he finally came clean like a little bit of what was going on. And we were the only ones in the house at the time. And I guess he was asking me because, my dad's a retired forensics detective. He was trying to throw it off me and see what, I guess. And also, like, I know for my own self, when I'm in trouble with something, and I'm like, I want to get confirmation from one of the people that you'll be okay. You know what I'm saying? And also, like, if I have a conscience of something or conviction, I'm like, you can't keep your mouth shut. You know what I'm saying? And I want to be able to tell it, like, speak it. Which is ironic because usually you're supposed to keep your fucking mouth shut. So he told me, and I told him, I said, don't tell me too much, bro, because what I don't know I can't say, and I don't want to be like involved in this shit. You know what I'm saying? But I understand that you don't want to fucking tell me too much either because I don't want you to think I'm a snitch. Anyway, yeah. But anyways, he told me that there's a situation, and this is when I found out it wasn't a domestic case. He was like, because his girlfriend was using, like, texting back and forth with my phone. He didn't have his phone. You guys had his phone. I had like a little throwaway phone, a little bullshit. I didn't have it connected or anything like that.
Do you remember the telephone number to it?
I didn't have it. Like, it wasn't connected. It was like a text now type shit.
Do you remember the text now?
No, I don't. I'm sorry, I don't.
Okay.
Anyways, he was like contacting through that, and he would use my phone, and he'd get like on his messenger. You can get on Messenger like that. He would just switch off. He would log me out and lock himself in. He might still have his email on mine connected to the Gmail. I'm not sure. I haven't checked. But I have a new phone, so I don't know if it even connected with that. When I connected with my Gmail, maybe it pulls it up. He told me that it's he got introduced to this situation like it was like October. They said you want to make some money. It was supposed to be like a robbery. The dude's a drug dealer. I guess he's coming from Perry. It was a lick. He'd get some bands, some thousands. And he was like, it went sour. I guess he was at his apartment. It happened at his apartment. I don't know where his apartment's at. I didn't know where it was at the time. I still don't. But he said, it went sideways. This is basically what he told me. He didn't tell me more than this. That it went sideways, and he had to handle his business. And he killed the dude, and he was with a gun. And he's not worried about you guys finding the body. He transported him in the car. I don't know if it was. I know it was a foreign. It was like I can't remember if it was a Mercedes or a BMW. I believe now that because I was talking to another friend that got picked up for something else. I guess he was driving the guy's car. He didn't even have any clue that because this person sold it to him, like rented it to him. I guess the person he's rented it to was selling drugs. He's like, I had no idea, Phil, that this dude fucking rented me a car that belonged to some dead man. Right. I'm like, what? And the dude he rented it to happens to be from that area too, so it's like I can see where the connection would be made.
What's the dude's name that he ran into?
They call him Muhammad. His name's Muhammad.
Yeah.
They call him Bando. I don't know Bando. I know nicknames, bro. I'm not even from here.
No.
I mean, I can't vouch for the man, but I know that he didn't have shit to do with that. He's not living like that.
Yeah.
It's just a hell of a coincidence that the man's from Perry. I guess this dude, the victim's from Perry or whatever. Anyways, he got to the house, they had a little shootout, and he killed the dude. He took care of the body, got rid of the body. I don't know where he put it. I just know that he said that y'all won't find it. But he was worried because you guys ransacked the house. Now, he wasn't you didn't have a warrant for his arrest. It was more of like a warrant for questioning. He was worried about, and he went back to the house after y'all ransacked it, which I was surprised he did, and I was surprised you didn't catch him there. But he went back and grabbed a couple of things, and he says that, from what I know, they didn't find anything, and they didn't even see the bullet hole. There was a bullet hole that missed. Now, if you walk into his apartment, this is how he described it to me. If you walk in, there's a dog, like a statue of a dog, that he would throw his keys on. Behind that dog, there was supposed to be a bullet hole. It was covered. Now, that dog wasn't moved. That's why he assumes y'all didn't find it. I'm assuming that you didn't find it either because I know that you either cut that shit out and bring it in for processing or you'll have it marked up or whatever the case may be. Nothing like that was on there, and I asked him about that too. I said, was it marked? Was it Mason? Was anything? Because the dog statue wasn't even fucking moved. He's like, so they didn't even see the bullet hole. I was like, damn, all right. And he's like, yeah, and I'm worried about it because, my roommate's freaking out, and this and that. And that's all he told me about that. He didn't tell me where it was at. I just know about that bullet hole. You know what I'm saying? The man said he did it. That's another thing. He said he did it right to my face.
This drug dealer that he's saying that was essentially wanting him to do this, like the robbery.
I don't know who put him up to it. I just know the person that he robbed was a drug dealer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was supposed to be like, like he was supposed to be copping from Buddy, and instead of copping, he was going to rob him. That shit went sour, and he wound up doing it.
Gotcha.
That he did tell me.
Okay.
And that bullet hole behind the dog statue. He described it pretty vividly to me. That's so that's why I'm able to tell you all that now. He was worried about maybe forensics with the car or whatnot, but that's so old. I don't know if anything would be picked up by that.
Yeah.
He said it would happen around October, maybe. Now he could be leaving things out just to keep, switching the names and things just so that it couldn't be like pinpointed. But I doubt he's too smart to switch it up that much. He was so scared though. This dude was telling me I don't think he would be able to play cool enough to be able to switch it up good enough like that.
Right.
And to be able to, he wanted confirmation that he was going to be okay, so I don't think he would want to tell too much of a lie to me, because he would want me to get as much of the story so I can tell him an honest answer if you're fucked or you're not.
Yeah.
I kind of put it in his head that you were straight. You know what I'm saying? They ain't got shit, bro. Did I break the law doing this?
No.
Okay.
Quite the opposite. No, I'm processing.
Okay.
Because I've just literally been at work all day.
Mm-hmm.
Steven, this guy Steve, and you spelled out Steve-O, you spelled out his last name correctly. It's pronounced Yinger.
Okay.
But he said, you knew him from prison. What prison were you all in together?
I was at Jefferson CI.
And he was, that's where he was too?
He was at the work release and he got sent back.
No.
And we were both at in White Oak together at Jefferson CI.
How long were y'all? together?
6 months, maybe.
Okay.
At the most. I mean, I came back from work release with county time. I had like 12 months left.
Yeah.
When they sent me back. So I mean, I spent 6 months on the pound, and then when I went back in there, I couldn't spend too much more than 5 or 6 months in the white one.
Yeah. What else do you know about him? Like where he's from or anything like that?
I want to say he's from down south, like Gainesville or some shit like that. I think he's from Gainesville. I think that's where his brother lives, but his brother does trucking, he told me. I was telling him, I was like, you can get your brother to vouch for you that you were down there visiting him the whole time, you know. He's like, nah, my brother won't do that. Number one, and number two, he's a truck driver like overseas.
Yeah.
You said he was talking to his girlfriend on your phone. Did he ever tell you what her name was or anything like that?
No, and she was going into treatment too. It was a drug treatment.
Okay. You want to grab?
I think she's a black girl too. She's definitely a black girl.
He's gonna grab a picture to show you. You've been knowing this guy for a while. When did you before, like the 2 months ago when he reached out to you? When's the last time you saw him before that?
Maybe a year or two.
Okay.
And I didn't even know him like that. He was a booster.
Yeah.
He would try and get me to buy some of his shit, and I don't really. And he used to live over there off of Lake Bradford. He was staying off of Lake Bradford.
Yeah.
And that area was like a fucking fence, like you had to get in. It looked like a compound. You know what I'm saying? Like you couldn't just, like after a certain hour, that fence locked, and you had to be in that spot.
Oh shit, I know the one you're talking about.
I don't know which one. Maybe off of Studley, like you said.
Yeah,
It sounds familiar now.
Yeah.
I've been over there, but I have not been. I've never been in there. I've never seen
Yeah.
inside.
I've never been in it either in all these years, believe it or not, but I know exactly what you're talking about. So when did you get out?
2017.
Was he still in when you got out?
I believe so. Okay. Yes, he was. Definitely still in.
Yeah.
That's him. Yeah, I don't even need to look at it again. That's definitely him. I know for a fact.
Is there? And I want to back up. So the night he came to your house, you said he came. Did he come in a vehicle, or did he come with somebody else, or?
He came in a vehicle. Somebody dropped him off. I really don't know him too well.
All right. Did
He
you know
just
the
knew to
person?
come there.
Did you know the person that dropped him off?
No, I just know him to come there. Like he knew to come there. I guess because he felt that I was like. He felt comfortable with me for some reason. I'm telling you, I'm not even friends with this dude like that. I never even hung out with him on the street.
Yeah.
Or nothing like that. I just know him through roundabout people. That's it.
Is there anything? This is why I asked you to bring your phone. Is there anything in your phone? Did you get this phone before or after he was at your house?
After. I got it like about 2 weeks ago. Like that. Maybe a week and a half ago. And I got it when I was in LA.
Okay. Is there anything that you can think of that would help you narrow down the date or the approximate date that he came to your house? I know that's a rough one. Is there anything?
If you guys can remember when you ransacked his house, he came like 2 days before that.
Okay.
Maybe. No, he probably came maybe the day that happened.
Okay.
Or because he was spooked. He was scared, you know what I'm saying? And I thought he was running from like a charge, like I thought his old lady called the cops.
No.
That's what he kind of like it was like being explained to me at first, like his old lady, he's got to stay away from the house for a little bit. I assumed it was domestic, you know what I'm saying?
Were there? Can you think of any life events you had or anything significant in time that occurred to you during the period of time where he was at your house? Because he was there for a day or two?
He was there for like 3 days.
3 days.
You said you went to Los Angeles?
Yes, sir.
When you got the phone, when did you go to Los Angeles?
January 15th, maybe? 16th. I mean, I have the flight records and everything like that could be pulled up.
About how long before that? Was it before? You're saying
he was
came
there,
before that?
Came and arrested before I even got, booked my flight.
Gotcha.
So about how long was it before that?
Before I got my phone?
Before you left for LA?
2-3 weeks at most, not more than that. 2 weeks, maybe?
What time was it when he came to your house?
Nighttime.
Early or late?
It was dark already. I mean, I'm not sure. I can't remember that part.
Okay.
The car he came in, do you remember what the car looked like?
It was like I think it was like a Nissan or a Toyota or some shit like that. I don't remember that part either. Honestly, I didn't even think it was this. Like, I thought you told you, like, he was running from a domestic. I thought there would be some bullshit with his old lady.
Right.
Really, that's how I started the conversation. And he's like, bro, it's far from a domestic. I was like, what you talking about, bro?
No.
You know, that's how it started out. I swear to God, that's how I thought it was.
You said a Nissan or a Toyota. Do you remember if it was dark colored or light colored? I don't know. It's an unfair question. It was so long. I know you don't. It's
I mean, if it was something significant, like I knew it was going to be like this, I probably remember a whole lot.
You remember everything. I know.
Damn right, but
I know.
You know.
That's the reason I'm asking you things like, was there anything significant that happened?
Yeah, I'm trying real hard, and I know my father used to drill me with stuff like this too.
In your life,
using key points like that. I know how to like timelines.
Because if you remember that, oh my gosh, I got in a fight with so and so, or it was so and so's birthday, or whatever, you know, might help
so
you
much in
know.
the wind right now. Like I don't have any kids. I don't have a wife.
Yeah.
Every day is monotonous and the same for me. I just kind of. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I smoke weed too. You know what I'm saying? So I mean. It doesn't rock my memory or nothing like that, but I just cut hair and just chill, man. That's what I do. I live day by day.
And you asked if he was running from a domestic.
I had asked him, I was like, yo, your old lady's not going to come over here, like, 'cause I see you talking to her on my phone. Are you sure you want to be doing that like that? I mean, it seems like everything's okay. You think you're going to go back to your house now?
Yeah.
No, it's not like that. What you talking about? I was like, what? You fucking what?
No, I got you.
So, ultimately he tells you that you said it was like the first or second night when he kind of relaxed a little bit. He was asking you questions about forensics. I guess you said he knew that your dad worked in forensics when he was.
How it broke down is just how I told you right now. I had, you know, was with this situation, like I was talking about his girl. I'm like, are you sure you're gonna be able to talk on the phone like that with his girl like that, man? You go ahead, man. It's alright. She's down with me, and okay, well. I mean, it's domestic, bro. Stuff like that. That's how he came out and told me. I didn't.
What kind
and
of
then
things
I told him, I
was
said, well, if you give me an idea of what happened,
Yeah.
I'm not asking you to tell me everything. You know, I'm not asking you to spill your guts because I don't want you to think I'm gonna go run and tell you this information and go trade it for something to the police or not, because I'm no snitch. I said, but you know, my dad. I gave him a little background on me. You know, my dad's a retailed forensics detective for the sheriff's department. If you tell me kind of like what's going on, I can tell you what is a protocol. That's how that came about.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. So then, and I'm just kind of repeating this back to you so I make sure I've got it straight in my head. So then he tells you that it was supposed to be a robbery. And did he tell you that he was it just him robbing the dealer?
It was just him.
Okay.
It was just him. He got put onto the lick. I don't know who put him onto it, but someone put him onto it, said, you know, you can get some bands out of this. Like, and I think it was like 56,000 at the most. And then it went sour. You know, that's exactly what happened.
And he gave you an indication this happened inside his apartment?
Absolutely did, because there's a bullet hole in his apartment.
Okay. You've never been to his apartment?
Never. I've been outside of it, I think, if that's the same one. Like I told you, the one over there, I think, the fence.
Where did you say, and that's the one you're talking about off of Lake Bradford?
Yeah, this is over like a year and a half ago.
Okay.
You know, I haven't seen him in forever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And
maybe 2 years, I don't know.
And he started questioning about forensics and things like that. He told you we searched, but we hadn't found anything, and then he mentioned a bullet hole.
Right. He knows that you didn't find it because the dog statue wasn't moved.
Okay. And the bullet hole is on the wall behind a dog statue.
That's correct.
Okay.
As soon as you walk in, there's supposed to be a dog statue somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
He throws his keys on it and shit like that when he walks in, you know?
Yeah. And specifically, what do you remember about? He said that he shot. You said he told you that he shot somebody.
Yeah, he shot and killed him because I mean there's a bullet hole. That's it.
Did he tell you how many times he shot?
No, sir.
Okay.
And he said you won't find the body either. It's like the way he described that part. Like I don't remember in detail how he said it, but he said the way it's like he's in pieces.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he said. He's in pieces.
Okay.
And right now he's just a missing person.
Gotcha.
Now, if he fucking did him like the Westies and cut him up, you know what I'm saying? I don't know.
No.
I don't see him as doing that, but I don't push anything past anybody. Like I said, I thought it was a fucking domestic.
Right.
And to find out this dude killed somebody on some bullshit. I told him not to worry too much about it. It sounds like you're the dude's a fucking drug dealer from another county. They're not gonna investigate some fucking scumbag that you put out.
And did he tell you what he did with the firearm?
No.
Okay.
No, he didn't.
And you made mention that he was having to borrow your old telephone that connects to Wi-Fi,
Right.
and he was using a Text Now app on it.
That's correct. Text Now and Messenger.
And Messenger.
Facebook Messenger, yeah. You would log in with his Messenger though. I've even talked to his girl over the thing, like when he was missing. And we're like, have you seen him? He didn't come back to the house at all. And she's like, yeah, I'm worried about it. And then boom, she hit up. She's like, I checked. He's in jail. I was like, oh fuck it. And I washed my hands of it. I was done with it.
Right.
Thank God. I threw his shit out and everything. You know what I mean?
And
He didn't have much. He had like a pair of pants and fucking shoes and a hat. That was it. And a shirt.
you mentioned something about when you were first asking if it was like a domestic type incident because you said the way he was talking to the girl.
Right.
Like were you hearing voice calls?
No, I was watching it and he texted on my phone, you know what I mean?
Okay.
And he was adamant about getting back on the phone with her, you know what I'm saying? So I said, what, you might be patching things up, huh?
Okay, so you're talking about just the amount of contact between
Right.
the two. Gotcha.
Right.
All right.
This is going to sound like a random question. You said all his clothing at the house, you got rid of it. You said he had a hat. Do you remember what the hat looked like?
It was I don't remember if it was snapback or fitted. Fuck, what was it? Might have been a Chicago Bulls hat. Fuck no, I can't remember, man. He had a pair of Air Maxes that he was trying to sell. They were pretty clean looking, like, you know, I have like the Phoenix Suns kind of colors.
Right.
Fuck no, I can't remember what color. I'm sorry, man.
That's fine.
But it wasn't like a fucking, you know, square, you know,
Yeah.
whatever. It was definitely a nice hat, you know what I mean? If I fit my big ass head, I probably would have got it. But, I mean,
Is your head big?
it's huge. I Peyton Manning head, bro. That's tall. 7 5/8, and it's snug.
Yeah. Dude, mine's the same way. It doesn't look like
But at
it.
least it fits your body. I'm tall and lanky with a skinny ass neck. And these fucking niggas won't let my knuckles heal for the first 90 days in prison. You know what I'm saying? So it's all right.
I wish I was a lot lankier than I was. So, back to the text now in the messenger. He's doing this on an old phone. Do you still have that old phone?
I don't. You know who's got it now? That dude Bando. Mohammed. I gave it to him because he didn't have a phone after you guys arrested him. You guys kept his phone. It's fucking, it's just going around in a circle. It's crazy. I don't even know if he's still got that phone anymore, you know what I mean? But it's cracked up and broken down. It looks like this. Looks just like this.
I actually know what that number is because I talked to him on it without knowing that. Obviously, that was yours.
Fuck.
Yeah. Did Stephen, and I know you said that Stephen indicated to you that he acted alone, did he give you any indication that he had any assistance from Bando or anybody else?
No, nobody.
Okay. And a second ago you said, I know Bando wouldn't be involved in that. What makes you say that?
Because he's a pussy, kind of like. And that doesn't mean anything. Like, I thought Stephen wouldn't have nothing to do with it either. But I saw Bando after he got out of jail and I was riding with him. And he didn't even know that dude was at my house, you know what I'm saying? He's like, man, I saw the guy in the county jail. He saw him when he was in the jail. He's like, bro, I almost beat his ass, bro, for fucking putting me involved in this shit. Like, why would you sell me a fucking car that you know belongs to a fucking dead man?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I was like, what?
Yeah.
You did all that shit to me? He's like, yeah, man, can you believe that shit? And I was like, no. And I gave him a little insight of what was going on. And I was like, bro, let me tell you something. You can tell him, you know, I kind of gave him the information I told you guys. You know what I'm saying? I was like, if that helps clear your name a little bit, Bando, do it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I really don't give a shit about him either. My roommate fought him out there in the bricks, you know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
fuck him, you know? But I'm not going to send somebody up the river that didn't do nothing to do. I don't know if he didn't do it or not, but I don't even know if he knew the dude beforehand. Honestly, I didn't even know that they knew each other.
Right.
I don't know how they met.
So, when you hooked up with Bando, is that the day he got out?
It's like a second day after or so. Maybe the third day out, or something like that.
Bando had no idea when he started telling you about this guy.
I didn't even know at first he was talking about Stephen. I had to put the connection together. I was like, wait. Are you talking about this guy? And he's like, yeah, man. I'm like, holy shit. Check this out.
Right.
The dude he supposedly killed is from fucking Perry, and that's where you got the kids. I was like, no wonder why they fucking think you did something with it.
Right.
Yeah. Have you ever known Bando to do anything violent, carry guns, anything like that?
Nah, I mean, I've had to carry guns. I'm not going to sit here and know. I've never seen him with a gun. I know he's carried guns, but I'm probably the only one in Tallahassee that doesn't have a gun.
Yeah.
I'm scared to death of him. I carry knives now at the ass. That's
You ever
all
heard
my
about him
cases are.
shooting anybody, stabbing anybody, beating anybody?
Hell no, I know about him getting beat up.
Yeah.
That was my roommate that did that, you know what I'm saying? He beat him up one time in the bricks, but that was it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I got it.
He's actually a pretty friendly fucking dude.
He is. He is. I've talked to him several times. He's from Paris.
He's from Paris?
Was born in Paris. Yeah.
Well, I've been named like as Mohammed and stuff like that. Maybe I don't know. He talks kind of funny too, a little bit.
He's got a little bit of an accent still. So you said that Stephen was spooked, and you said spooked and scared.
Absolutely. When I knew somebody would knock on my door, he'd fucking go running into the kitchen.
Yeah.
That's why I was like, damn, this is a comedian. He about to beat the shit out of this girl, bro.
No.
He beat the shit out of somebody.
What's his drug of choice?
He smokes Molly. He smokes Molly. Honestly, when he was at my house, it was a fucking dumpster. You know what I'm saying?
Smoking.
Whatever, clever. Whatever does it, changes the radio.
Right.
Yeah. Did you ever see him smoke Tucci?
Fuck yeah.
Okay. Does he smoke more Tucci or more? I'm just curious.
More M's.
More Molly.
Yeah, he wasn't too much smoking the Tucci because I guess he was scared about whacking out, plus with everything going on that doesn't actually do anything good for the fucking paranoia.
Right.
Yeah.
Honestly, after I found out kind of what was going on, I didn't want him smoking no fucking Tucci. I didn't know how he was going to act.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I should. Did Bando tell you anything else other than this guy gave me a car, like a dead man's car?
He rented him the car. Like,
Right,
he
yeah,
sold it to him, and I'm assuming for drugs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Did he tell you that did he say anything about Stephen giving him anything else? Okay. And did you get the impression from Bando, did he make any statements that made you think that maybe Stephen had already told him what had happened? Okay.
No, because Bando was like, I had no fucking clue. How the fuck, why would you rent me? That was the biggest thing. That's why he wanted to fight him in the county jail. He's like, bro, you sold me this car, or rented me this car that belongs to a fucking dead man.
Yeah.
You didn't tell me none of this shit.
Give me time to some shit.
So that would be the indication that he didn't say a damn thing to him about it, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Honestly, I'm surprised he even told me about it, But I got a way of pulling shit out of people, I guess. I hate that. I wish this motherfucker never told me nothing. Am I in trouble because he told me this shit and I didn't contact you guys right away?
No, you're not. You're not. And
I don't need a lawyer or nothing like that, right?
no.
Okay.
No.
I didn't think I did, but I just been asking these questions randomly.
You came to us now. You're a witness. You're not a suspect.
Okay, yeah, I know that. Yeah, shit, I don't.
You're not in trouble because you didn't come to us immediately with this.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. I would never do you like that.
Honestly, it kind of went out of my mind a little bit. I didn't even think about it until like later on. Everything kind of died down with Rogers, and I was like, fuck it, I'll just tell him about this too.
Yeah. Well, you did right by telling him.
I mean, there's no motive behind it. No actually even promise me or anything or tell me anything, but he just wanted to know about this fucking dude here.
Right.
You know?
Is there anything else that you can think of, any detail, no matter how small, maybe we haven't discussed yet?
Honestly, I'm kind of like a little nervous. Not nervous, but I'm kind of like I'm on the spot right now. And I'm sure if I go home later on or tomorrow, and maybe something might come up. But I'm pretty sure I kind of told you everything that he told me.
Okay.
Because I told him to keep it light. I said, don't tell me too much. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to know too many details, so I can never be held accountable for telling on you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, kind of switching from that, the case the guy that he initially contacted you about, you said you only know him as Miami or Dade or whatever.
I didn't know his real name. Okay. I never knew his real name. Stays with a firearm.
How long have you known him?
I don't know, wouldn't even count me as I've really known him. You know, the time I got arrested by him was probably the same time right around the time that I met him. I say like last summer, the beginning of last summer, that's it. And I don't get along with him at all. We tried to fight him.
Right.
So it's not somebody I see on a regular basis. It's kind of like on sight. If I see him, he's by himself, I'm going to whoop him.
Right. I gotcha. What was y'all's beef about?
He's trying to keep, he's in some fuck shit, some bullshit. And he's hanging around my roommate's younger brother. And his younger brother is very influentive, and we're trying to keep him out of trouble because he just got out of prison. He just turned 18.
Right.
And if he was to get in trouble again, he could go to work for a very, very, very long time.
Right.
He's got hellfire charges for his age already, and he came to his mom's house, and my roommate told him, you know, bro, just get out the car, because we were talking, he got kind of sporty at the mouth, so that kind of like triggered my roommate to say, you know what, oh, just get out the car, and then he got a little salty, crazy, and we was at his mom's house, you know what I'm saying, so
Right.
naturally, the kind of person I'm like all for you, if I'm with you 100%, so, my roommate got into it, we were with him, and everyone's trying to keep the peace. As soon as they brought my roommate in there, I felt like it was a fucking WWE tag team, so I took out.
Right.
You keep talking about my room, you know, listen, now he's not acting as a defendant, fuck that, I'm gonna show you what's up. So we went at it, you know what I'm saying, about this property right here, I'm gonna go in about this property, this number right here, I'm gonna go in.
Right.
He's like, well, fuck you, push that crack. I said, crack, I got your crack, and I'm like that, I mean, you know, I was gonna smack the shit out of him, and he fucking limboed all the way back there.
Right.
That's when I knew I had his heart in my pocket. He carries a firearm, I know he carries a firearm, but he didn't pull it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I know he's not gonna, you know, if you're gonna pull it, you better. My dad told me if you ever pull it, you better pull the trigger.
Yeah.
And he didn't do none of that.
I'm just gonna use this right on.
This thing that Mr. Rogers came to me about today, I didn't know nothing about that
Okay.
at all. And I ain't gonna lie, I kind of threw it out there a little bit to some people, like, yo, you ever heard about a little girl getting shot, man?
Right. So, tell me about some of the stuff you told him. I guess not knowing what was going on, you just kind of told him a little bit about what you know about him.
About Miami?
Yeah, I guess you
a
had
fraud.
told him that he always carries.
Always. He thinks it's cool.
Is he selling?
He's buying.
He's buying.
He's buying. He's a fraudster. He runs fraud.
Okay.
He's a scammer, but he's not even a real scammer. He claims to be this. He's like a middleman. He's the one that goes out and finds the ducks
Right.
for the people that are doing the scamming.
Right.
You know, he might break off every once in a while. He did shit with Cash App, and you know, this fucking thing that the government was doing with these checks and shit like that. But that's it.
He you know what kind of car he drives?
An Infinity. It's kind of like a light green, teal, pewter, whatever the fuck.
Okay.
He used to drive a white Camry.
Okay. You know where he stays at?
Somewhere in Lake Jackson, his father.
Okay.
He's not too far from my house.
Okay. Your roommate's brother that you said do they still hang out?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what your roommate's brother's name is?
Omar. I
Omar.
don't know, his last name is different than my brother, than my roommate.
What's your roommate's name?
Deontay Rents.
Deontay Rents. Okay. And his brother's name's Omar.
Yes, sir.
What does Omar look like?
What does he look like?
Yeah.
He's black. I don't know what else.
Like, what kind of hair has he got?
It's kind of fucking wild looking. It's not dreaded up or anything like that. It's just a big, messed up fro.
Like stalks almost?
So, fuck, I don't know. It's like mad and nappy looking. So,
The last time you saw...
he just had a baby. He's been at the house a little bit, you know, but
Okay.
he hangs out a little bit with him, but he's been kind of shying away from him a little bit. Not by his own choice, but because family's putting pressure on him.
Yeah. You know where Omar's baby mama lives?
At the house with him on Ridge Road.
On Ridge Road?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you know where at on Ridge Road it is?
684.
Okay. When's the last time you saw Miami?
Yeah, we've been passing him maybe like a couple weeks ago, a week ago.
I know in like the only pictures we got of him are his old driver's license photos.
Yeah, his hair's a little longer than what you got now.
Is it?
Yeah.
What's it, is it still in like an afro or
Yeah,
is he...
something like that. It's not like dreaded up or anything like that. He's got like, you know, he can twist it like this with a little fucking ball, with a blowout fade.
Okay.
He usually wears a hat. He thinks he's just you know, he thinks he's a player. You know, he got like this designer shit going on. He wears a Gucci hat that he fucking wears out to the fullest. He probably smells like shit.
Right.
That's it. I haven't been around to see him enough to know.
Right.
You know, like I said, it's on sight. If I see him, I'm gonna whoop him.
Yeah. Does he still have the goatee, facial hair shit?
Yes, sir. From what I know, like I said, it's in passing.
Have you ever known him to... Does he ever have anything in his mouth? Ever have a grill, golds, anything like that?
No, I don't think no golds.
Does Omar have golds or anything?
No.
No? Okay. Is there anybody that Miami hangs out with that you know about that has golds?
Not off the top of my head.
Okay.
I only know two people that really hang out with him. That's Montrell Jackson and Omar. That's it. I don't know anybody else that hangs out with him.
Okay.
I know who he goes around and shit like that, and where he be at, trying to cop and stuff like that. But other than that, no, I don't know him.
Right. What, does Omar have a car?
No.
No, he just just rides with.
He just got out of prison not long ago. He works at Walmart now too. He's doing good.
Okay.
Overnight stocking.
When you know how long he was in prison?
3 years. He was in YO. You know, he's 18. He just turned 18 on the street, so he.
Yeah.
Like maybe 4 years, 3 years, or something like that. I'm not gonna try and rush it. Are we almost done? Because I gotta get back, man.
Yeah. I know. I guess you told Rogers that you would, kind of feel it out, see if anybody knew anything. Did anybody give you any information today?
Not yet, as far as, it's brand new. I haven't been too much, no.
Okay.
I ain't really been out there, like, I'll hit the bricks tomorrow, you know what I'm saying? I'll go out early.
Okay.
And everyone knows me, everyone likes me. I got a pass everywhere.
Yeah.
There's nowhere I can't go, I promise you. I can go more places than most niggas can, I promise.
Right. Alright, yeah, I'll go grab Rogers, we'll get you out of here. If you do end up in the next couple of days hearing anything,
fucking right.
Just get up with Rogers.
First quarter.
Just
I
get
promise.
up with Rogers.
Can I take a leak before we go?
Yeah.
It's like a racehorse.
Let me make sure the hallway's clear so you ain't walking
Yeah,
back.
you ain't gotta worry about that. I'm already locked in. I'm gonna call you ASAP.
Okay. Hey man, you're good.
Okay, cool. Shut the door? Think it'll be too much longer if we join out?
No. Do you know those?
That's him.
That's Omar?
That's Omar.
Okay. Alright. Yeah, let me go grab them so they can get you your ride back and then we'll get you out of here, alright, bro?
Yes, sir. Thank you. Hey, I'm cutting this shit short because of this. Tell them nobody in the room. All right, are they still in the room right now? All right, nobody in the room. In fact, go ahead and lock it. Steezy knows how to get in there. All right.